Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Virgo, is for you. Remember, they are general readings, so make sure you use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. If you, before we start, as always, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. For your key to the week this week, you have the Hierophant card. Okay, so this week, you are bringing that structure, right? Maybe this was a week where you start to get a bit more, as if it's even possible, but a bit more organized in whatever it is that you're doing. It could also be that this week you're trying to bring a lot more faith and a lot more compassion into the different areas of your life that we're about to explore. The other thing with your Hierophant card, it can very often see us interacting with bigger or larger institutions than us, right? So this can be where this week you might have a feeling that certain things are sort of out of your control. And if that is the case, maybe this is a week where you sort of learn to kind of surrender to, the isness of whatever is taking place. Okay, so for your actions and options, you've got the Knight of Pentacles. Love this, right? Slow and steady is going to win the race this week. One thing that I have noticed about you, even though you are a sign that's ruled by Mercury, the Quicksilver, quick-tongued, quick-witted god, right, of haste and speed, you are efficient, right? You're absolutely efficient. But one thing that I like about Virgo energy is they do know how to take their time and when to take their time, I think is probably a better way to put it. What this also tells me is that this week you might be doing some maintenance on your vehicle, right? So this might be where the car really does need some form of maintenance. Maybe you're putting it into the shop. Now, the good thing is it doesn't necessarily look like you're doing this because there's a problem, but it's like, you know, when we do the maintenance without there being an issue, we don't have the issue, right? So this is kind of like, this is you doing some form of preemptive work, which is actually a good thing. When it comes to the options that are available to you, this could be some form of road trip, some kind of travel, more on a sort of local level, maybe to somewhere that's quite rural, potentially for some of you as well to a place that has a bit more of a spiritual significance to it for you. For your communications and conversations, it's funny because Leo had this same card in this same position, obviously with a different deck, but just very interesting. So there are new conversations happening this week, new places, new people, new conversations. This with the Hierophant card, this is interactions with new or bigger or larger institutions in some regard. It could also be that this week you have a change of, so yes, you have a change of mind. That's also possible, but you could have literally a change of thoughts or a change of beliefs. Some of the routines and rituals that you have grown with, that you have created for yourself, the life that you have created as in your routines and rituals could really come up for review this week. You know, you could have a moment where you start to really understand what needs to change and why. And it's through these new thought patterns and new thought processes, maybe new conversations that you have with spiritual or religious people that get you to see yourself and life in a very different way. When it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this with the Knight of Pentacles could literally be a new campus, right? A new campus, a new place of study. Maybe you finished with one and now you're graduating to another. Maybe you're getting a work placement of some sort and so you're having to change your location there. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could be that your business or the company that you work for announces that they are changing their location. The head office is moving. We're opening a new location and we're opening a new branch of some sort. And actually, if you're willing and you're able, whether you've got a family or not, this could actually be very beneficial for you in the long term. When it comes to your, ooh, come on, brain. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, you might be bringing an in-person element to your business, right? So if you're obviously like me, you know, and a lot of your business is online, maybe you don't have an in-person presence. However, this looks like you are taking over a new location. Maybe you are traveling to a new place to check it out to see if you want to put part of your business there. It's like you're bringing things out of your I want to say like things are coming out of obscurity when it comes to your business, and they're coming into the real world. Now, you are a very real world, very practical sign anyway, but one of the ways I feel like this might shape up for you is that you harden, or you not expand, but it's like you harden or solidify. That's the word that I was looking for. You solidify your business by taking it into the real world. So there's an in-person element to your business, to your work, to your bricks and mortar that is shifting, that is changing, that has a lot to do with the longevity of your work and your business, and it's going to bode very well for your future. If you are retired and no longer working for any reason, I like this for interactions with new spaces in the world. I also really like this for planning the long term, right? This could be that you're looking at your will, all of that unsexy stuff, right? The paperwork and who gets what and all of that stuff. But it could just as easily be that you are looking at working with or aligning yourself to a bigger or larger institution so that you can sort of kick back and say, okay, you know what? I don't need to worry anymore. It's like you're doing the upfront work now so that you can kick back a little bit more after. For your love and relations, you've got the Star card. If you are partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, this Star card bodes very well for you, because it means that there is hope for your future and the future of your marriage, your long-term partnership, your relationship. It means that things are getting better. It means that there's a lot of pleasure and joy coming in after maybe what has been a particularly dark or hard or maybe even scary period of life. When it comes to your relationship, it's really starting to improve. Now, I will say, as part of your relationship, there does appear to be a very long distance journey coming up. So if you're in the States, this would be literally across the country or across the border into Canada or into South America. If you are here in Europe, this would be a visit or some form of travel to the US, to Zurich, to you know, Brighton here in the UK. That's very possible. Maybe to Singapore. There's like some sort of very long distance travel that is really very much on the cards or being considered right now. And then finally, when it comes to those of you that are single, this could be some form of online dating. You could meet someone online who absolutely blows your socks off. Now, that being said, I do want to give you the Raffi rant. We are not, I've given you this before, but I'm giving it to you again, right? Because we are not out here in 2024 being catfished, right? Everybody at this point has a smartphone, lives on their phone, right? Always has it to hand. If you can't FaceTime that person that you're talking to that really likes you oh so much at least once to verify who you're actually talking to, I got no sympathy, right? We are not out here in 2024 being catfished, okay? Let's get it together collectively, please. Right, thank you. Moving on. For your money and materials, you have the Strength card, right? So we've got 2 8s here, technically. This is a very dynamic spread. It's a very big spread as well, because look, right, we're 3 for 3 out of 4 cards, right? The key to the week card is always a major. It's always a major card, so we're not looking at that, but we're 3 for 4 of the cards, which means that this is a very big pivotal week for you when it comes to your money, your finances, and your resources. For those of you that are employed, this is you daring to ask for what you feel like you're worth. This is for those of you that are business owners. Maybe you're raising your prices, you're having the guts or the courage to charge what you know you are worth, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. For a lot of you, this could be as well that you are starting to make money from or through spaces and places in the world that have what's the word that I'm looking for? Spaces and places within the world that have an element of corporate to them, right? There's money to be made here for you guys this week, providing you're willing to get the courage up to go after it. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this with the Hierophant card, obviously I'm not a doctor, I can't give you medical advice, this is not a diagnosis. What I will say to you here though is if you know you have heart problems, or you know you've got some kind of congenital defect, etc., this week I would go and ask them to check the structure of your heart. I'm not going to say the stuff that I'm hearing in my mind because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, and I can't give you, this isn't a diagnosis or anything like that, but I know what I'm looking at when I see it in my cards. Another thing that I will say to you as well is, outside of that, if you don't have heart stuff, one of the things that I will say to you is the structure, the literal structure of your back. Go to a chiropractor, go to an osteopath, especially if you're noticing problems with your hips and your knees. Go to an osteo or a chiropractor this week. My money, I always say to people, if you gave me a choice between an osteopath and a chiropractor, I would always go to the osteopath. Why? Because they look at your whole body and your whole anatomy and physiology as opposed to just your spine. Now, that being said, go to a pro. Finally, when it comes to your home and environment, this week, the Strength card, especially with the Hierophant, you might have to have some strongly worded conversations with neighbours this week. You may have to potentially report something this week. It's possible. You might have, you know, more kerfuffle than you would like in your local neighborhood this week. That's also very possible. My advice would be not to get into it. You've got the Strength card, that's number 8. You've got the Star card, number 17. 1 and 7 gives you 8. 2 8s represents new knowledge, new wisdom, new information. So when it comes to your living situation, or rather your locality, there are things that are shaping up, or maybe things that are coming down from the local authority this week that you might want to challenge. And my advice to you with the Strength card there is, you've got the power to make change, providing you've got the guts to make the waves that need to be made, right? So you might have to, you know, do that thing that you do best, you know, sort of more than most other signs actually, you know, sleeves up, hands on. You might have to really get into the thick of it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.